those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. I am by no means a fan of Britney Spears' music. However, TriStar Entertainment making bank off it makes me so mad.
What happened to your clothes?
Well, I have on clothes now.
I know. But what's this about? No kidding. What is it about?
What is it about?
Yeah.
It's about doing a beautiful picture.
Is it about shocking people?
About shocking. You know what? I feel comfortable in my skin. I think it's an okay thing to express yourself. Have you seen?
You know,
I hate to bring this up, but Kate Hudson, she's 22. She's in Sheets. Jennifer Lopez, she poses very provocatively sometimes. Christina Aguilera, what's the big deal when I do it? Like, come on, you know? I don't understand.
I think everybody always thought you had a different relationship to young girls.
Everyone now, they look back and they're like, what happened to your sweet image that you used to be? And I'm like, then when I came out, you thought I was too provocative. It's like you can never win. No matter what you do, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody. You know, I'm not here to please. Ugh. It's Britney, bitch.
Since we're on the topic of who's making bank off Britney, let's talk about Sam Asghari. It seems that a lot of people have a problem with Sam marrying Britney. But let me remind you what I said at the start. If we forget the past, we are doomed to repeat it. Let's not fall into the same trap that put her into the conservatorship in the first place.
So it turns out Sam Asghari, Britney Spears' fiance, was once on her payroll as a chef.
Okay, wait a second. How the hell is Britney supposed to meet somebody who wasn't on the payroll of the conservatorship, considering all the security and stuff that they had to go through before they actually got to be in the same room with her? Personally, I'm not surprised that Tim Con vetted him first before he got to meet Britney.
But he's not in it for the money. Trust me guys, I want Britney to be free and to be happy, but this is a red flag.
Poking holes in her every decision like the media has always done isn't really going to make her happy though, is it?
Britney admitted to a friend that her fiancé Sam was once on her payroll as a chef.
First of all, A, what friend? She didn't have any friends. Team Con got rid of them all. And then B, you're getting this information from The Sun. Have you forgotten that they were part of putting her into the conservatorship and were always pro Team Con?
She's currently 40 years old and he's only 27, and they've been together for about 4 years.
If we reverse the gender roles here, they'd be calling her a groomer.
Honestly, I'm trying to look at the bright side of everything and to think positively because this is very concerning. But I was trying to think, like, maybe Britney hired Sam as her chef because she was in a conservatorship. There were a lot of rules. Maybe this was the only way they could spend time together and see each other if he was employed through her estate.
Well, how else was she ever going to meet somebody outside of the conservatorship?
But we actually got a little clue, a little hint last year when an accounting document came out and revealed that she did have this chef. The reason why we got a hold of this document was because Britney was in court with her father and they were going through the accounting and all the estate expenses. At first, we were presented with a redacted version of this filing where all of the names are blocked out. But as you guys can see, she had a chef who was getting paid about $100,000 a year, $500 a day, and working 5 days a week. The unredacted version was leaked last year, and as you can see, Sam Asghari is working as her chef, which we thought he was like a fitness god, like a trainer. Now he's a chef, I guess.
Makes sense to me because, you know, it starts with the food. It's not just about exercise, it's also about what you eat. And let's not forget, the conservatorship was even controlling what she ate.
And what I found interesting was that it looks like he also gets a higher rate during the holidays. Like it says, during the holidays, the daily rates are higher. I find that interesting because it makes sense for a normal chef, but like if you're dating the person, like I feel like that one line right there isn't really necessary because why would he be getting more if he's like literally like in love with her? Like, aren't they just spending the holidays together?
So you don't think that they might have been hiding their relationship from Team Con in the early days?
Anyways, so this whole rumor that Sam was working as Britney's chef has been going on for some time. Last year, fans were speculating that Sam was employed by Britney as her cook, and supposedly Britney has been open about this situation and insists that it's no longer going on. So I guess Sam was fired as her chef. So an insider told The Sun that Britney told a friend that she used to pay Sam a salary as her chef, but she doesn't employ him anymore.
Well, there you go. You just answered your own question. They're in love. She doesn't need to pay him anymore.
Some fans have this impression that Sam is in it for the money, but Britney said it's not like that at all. And I would hope it's not like that, but I'm still interested in like why was he employed and when was he like let go as the employee? But this insider insists that Britney sees Sam as the one, and she's incredibly proud of how far he has come since he's come to America as an immigrant from Iran.
Again, you're putting a heck of a lot of weight in a gossip column printed in The Sun of all freaking places.
The source continued that Britney rejected any claim that Sam is just another contract that she has gotten herself into or taking advantage of her to cash checks, despite having worked for her before, which I think is a major red flag. Unless this is some romantic way that they got around the conservatorship to spend time together.
You are one of the most well-researched FreeBritney supporters on the fucking planet. Of all people, you should know that she had to pull some tricks out of her ass to get around the conservatorship.
I don't really understand why Sam would ever be employed through this estate because Jamie Spears, Britney's father, is the one who's managing this estate.
Oh Lord, give me strength. Let's just move on to his next story.
We need to talk about these concerning reports coming out about Britney Spears and her fiance Sam, because Britney keeps referring to Sam as her husband, which I love that for her.
Anytime somebody follows up something with a but, you know that what preceded it wasn't true.
But now he's trying to cash in and make money off of Britney.
Let's not forget that Britney took $10,000 out of her account when she was 15, and she drove around her hometown and handed out $100 bills to everybody for Christmas. Now I understand that this kind of giving and sharing might be an unusual thing to millennials, but that is just how Britney is.
This is something her fans have been concerned about for quite some time, and supposedly this source who's close to Britney and Sam has gone to the press and they're sharing some concerning news.
Oh, and that source wouldn't be part of Team Con now, would it? You know, trying to stop Britney from getting married so that Sam can't get any of her money and they get it all?
I love how this article starts off. While the saying goes, first comes love, then comes marriage, it seems a prenup plan has been all but forgotten about.
Yes, it is an interesting first sentence because if you check the date on it, a prenup plan was already being discussed with Matthew Rosengart by then.
Pregnant Britney Spears, which, reminder, I mean, not that you guys have forgotten, but Britney is pregnant. She's expecting her first child with Sam, and she's eager to get married. But the couple are hashing out their prenup agreement, and it's causing a holdup.
Well, yes, and the holdup was Team Con filed a motion with the probate court to prevent Britney from making any decisions about the prenup.
So maybe Britney would be married to this man if there wasn't a problem with the prenup. Well, you're probably asking, Sloan, I mean, what could the problem be? I mean, you get married, you're in love, like that's about it. I mean, I feel like Britney needs a prenup to protect herself, but really, what does Sam have to protect?
Given that she is a very giving and sharing person, I would say it's Britney trying to protect Sam from any future control the conservatorship may have over her finances.
Well, a source spoke to Us Weekly, which I don't trust Us Weekly, but
But you trust the Sun.
a source spoke to Us Weekly and said that the talks have been taking longer than usual. Sam wants substantial increases for every 5 years they are married.
What about what Britney wants? Maybe Britney wants to look after Sam.
If they should end it. So pretty much when you divorce, you know, whoever has more money typically gives some money to the person who doesn't have as much money.
No, when you divorce, your accumulated wealth together is split 50-50 in the state of California anyway. It's not based on who has less money.
I know that Beyonce and Jay-Z have some really crazy agreement where like maybe Beyonce gets like a few extra million or something, or Jay-Z gets a few extra million or something if they were to divorce, and it's based off of how long they were together. And it seems like Sam wants some type of hookup where he can get a payout if they were to divorce.
Yeah, that's what a prenup is. People who have a lot of money generally have an agreement what will happen when they divorce. This is all completely normal.
So let's say every 5 years, like they're saying, he will get like, you know, an extra $2 million. So if they were married for 10 years, he would get $4 million after they were to split up, which is just honestly disgusting at this point.
No, it's not disgusting, it's normal. Completely normal. And it also shows that Britney's thinking well into the future, not just rushing into a marriage and throwing everything to the wind.
How do you're with a woman who has been publicly exploited, who has been taken advantage of in her private life, and you like are stuck up on a prenup, and that's what's holding up this wedding?
No. Yeeted Spears is holding up the wedding, and to be honest, for somebody as well versed with the conservatorship as you are, I'm very surprised to hear you taking Team Con's side. Instead of clutching my pearls, I'm going to go and research why Team Con was trying to put roadblocks in the way of this marriage.
Yesterday, OK Magazine broke a story that Britney Spears and Sam Asghari's wedding has been put on hold due to conflict regarding their prenup, saying that Sam has been asking for more money, and because he's not getting it, the wedding has been put on hold. Now, I want to be clear that this article did come from OK Magazine. However, when you read it, this statement of that the prenup has been taking longer than usual comes specifically from one source from Us Weekly, not from OK Magazine itself. That is important at the end of the day, because what it is showing is that as other articles are reporting this, they're all going back to this one unnamed source. That always kind of raises red flags for me. I tend to not like it when there's only one source on something, and especially when it comes from a tabloid like Us Weekly. So I saw a lot of people freaking out about this. I kind of went, I'm gonna hold my breath. I don't think I'm gonna jump on this quite yet, but we did have an interesting development on this as well. So last night, Sam responded to this article. Pop Crave reposted it, and he made a comment on Instagram. And the comment read, I live on rice and lettuce, so I only need about 12 bucks a day, which means I can cover myself. Hashtag fake news. Something I think that's important that we remember when we talk about the prenup is that Sam has been the one that has been the most vocal about wanting a prenup. He actually made a really funny post a couple of months ago talking about it. Thank you everyone who is concerned about the prenup. Of course we're getting an ironclad prenup to protect my Jeep and shoe collection in case she dumps me one day. I know there's a lot of people right now that are really going for the Sam hate train. And I'm in no way saying that Sam is perfect. But what I am saying is that when it comes to this, Sam has been very protective of Britney. He's been very protective of her privacy. He's been very protective of her money. And he's been very protective of his ability to be able to work and achieve his dreams. When I see one article sourced like this, immediately my brain goes to speculation, Team Con.
Phew, glad I'm not the only one who's thinking this way.
For years, Team Con allegedly spent a lot of money, allegedly, on paying off media companies to make a narrative about Britney. And a part of me wonders if now, as we move into the next stage of what I consider the Free Britney movement kind of evolving into Justice for Britney, that there's going to be more speculation about Britney and the way that she lives her life. Because if Britney does indeed go forward with suing people who put her in this conservatorship and maintained it, they will have to defend that what they did was the right thing. And one of the best ways that they can do that, from my own speculation, is by proving that Britney is not capable of living her own life. A great way to do that is to start casting doubt on the choices that she's making with the people she's putting in her life. That is my speculation. I see that all over this, and I know I'm not the only one in the Britney community who does.
To understand the hold-up in the prenup, we need to refer to a celeb lawyer who writes prenups for a living.
Britney Spears is engaged and there's talk of a premarital agreement. Can she even get married and do a prenup while she's under a conservatorship? Well, let's break it down. My name is Christopher Melcher. I'm a California attorney, and one of my highest specialties is premarital agreements. Before we get into those details, can Britney even be married? She's under a conservatorship, and she said in one of her court statements that she didn't believe that she could be married. Well, Probate Code Section 1900 says that an imposition of a conservatorship, even one over her person, does not affect her capacity to marry. So yes, she can marry, but she didn't understand that. And it may be because she had this court-appointed attorney, not one of her own choosing. Now that she has an attorney that's representing her properly, she understands that she can be married, and she's moving forward on that. But how can she plan a wedding when she doesn't have control of her finances and she can't make a contract? Because those rights are taken away from her, invested in her father right now. So if he doesn't approve of this marriage, he's not going to sign any contracts with a caterer or a venue. She's not going to be able to pay for things like flowers and other things that people do when they're planning a wedding. So that would be an obstacle. She either have to get his approval or go to court to order him to release the funds. I did a video with that surprise witness recently on her channel, and she noted the inconsistency where the law says that Britney can be married, which involves significant rights and obligations, but Britney can't enter into a simple contract with a caterer. It makes no sense, but it's just the way it is under conservatorship law. A premarital agreement is a contract, and Britney Spears does not have the right to make a contract right now because of this conservatorship that's been placed on her. Her dad would have to sign the contract and negotiate it, and it would be really creepy for that to happen. I assume Britney Spears is going to wait for the conservatorship to be over and then negotiate and sign the premarital agreement herself. Britney Spears was not completely free to the conservatorship on November 12th. Why not? And what is it going to take to get her financial freedom? So the conservatorship over the person was terminated on November 12th. All of the personal liberties that had been taken away from Britney in 2008 were restored to her on that day. But we had heard something about a trust, and there were details, and that was going to take a bit until her financial freedom was restored to her. And I've gone now and looked through all the documents and understand what happened. But before I can go into those details, I need to talk about what trusts are so we have that foundation. These trusts are mostly created to avoid what's called probate. It's a process that occurs after somebody dies. On death, an estate is created where all of their assets and debts go into. And if they had a will, their property after payment to creditors will pass according to their plan in the will, but court approval is needed. The court needs to make sure that this will is valid, needs to give notice to other potential heirs and creditors. All those people have an opportunity to speak up. There's administration that happens with attorneys who charge a percentage of the value of the estate for fees. And then finally, distributions are made to the heirs. Nobody likes this process because it's time-consuming, expensive, and uncertain. And that's why we have family trusts, or what are sometimes called revocable trusts. This is basically a contract that allows the passage of property outside of probate so we don't have to go through all that stuff. And there are three roles in a trust: the settlor, who creates the trust and funds it with their property, and also retains the power to change the trust. That's why they call it revocable. Then there's the trustee. It's the person who will hold title to these assets and has a fiduciary duty to distribute them or hold them, whatever the plan was, according to the settlor. And then finally, the beneficiary, the person who's going to benefit from this trust. In most cases, it's one person who serves in all three of these roles initially. And that was the case for Britney Spears when she created the SJB Trust in 2004, years before the conservatorship. Britney Spears created that trust, so she was the settlor, and she retained control over it as trustee and was also the beneficiary of that trust. Once the settlor dies, the trust becomes irrevocable. It can no longer be changed. A successor trustee is appointed who will then carry out the wishes of the settlor as expressed in the trust document. The beneficiary is replaced with a contingent beneficiary, typically a spouse or child or children of the settlor. And in this way, the property is distributed according to the plan of the settlor without having to go to court. For Britney's trust in 2008, when the conservatorship was placed upon her, she was removed as trustee and others were put into place as successors. I'm not going to go into the background of the trust in this video because there's already a bunch of great videos on that on a channel called Britney's SWAT Team on YouTube. So go check that out. They have 9 videos there that detail the history of the trust. The purpose of this video is to talk about how this trust got in the way of completely freeing Britney on November 12th. When Britney's legal team and the attorney representing John Zabel, the temporary conservator of the estate, were preparing for the termination, they discovered that Jamie Spears, or the conservatorship team, had buried in secretly some terms into Britney's trust to lock her into their control even after the conservatorship would have ended. That's why Mr. Zabel filed a petition on November 12th to eliminate those restrictions so Britney could have her financial freedom back. In the petition for substituted judgment filed by Mr. Zabel on November 12th, he stated that he needed to bring this action so that he could transition Britney's property from the conservatorship into her trust because many of these assets were held outside of her trust for some reason. Also, he noted that the estate planning changes that had been made by the conservatorship team buried within the instrument prevented Ms. Spears from ever amending or revoking her estate plan without first obtaining a court order. These changes that the conservatorship made were improper and were also hidden from the court. There was no legitimate reason to require court approval to change Britney's revocable trust because it was intended to be revocable, meaning that she retained the power when she created this thing to change it or even throw the whole thing out. But Jamie Spears and his co-conservator, the estate at that time, Andrew Wallet, had another purpose. They wanted to put into this trust a provision that allowed them to continue controlling Britney even if the conservatorship ended, and they failed to disclose that fact to the court. In their petition for substituted judgment of August 14, 2017, they said that the purpose of the petition was to request authority to create a new estate plan for Ms. Spears as her children were born after the first one was created. They claimed that Britney had provided her input on this and desired to make the change, which they called a scheme, and I agree, it was a scheme. Nothing is mentioned in the petition that Andrew Wallet and Jamie Spears filed about making this revocable trust irrevocable without court approval. I imagine that was buried in some fine print of the document that was attached to the petition, but they never informed the court that this was one of their hidden purposes. And Britney's court-appointed attorney, Sam Ingham, never bothered to catch it or didn't care enough to read the document and understand it himself. The court clearly believed that this trust would remain revocable after the amendment that Jamie Spears and Andrew Wallet were proposing, because in its order of May 3, 2018, the court stated that this was a revocable trust. However, because of the condition that Andrew Wallet and Jamie Spears had snuck into this document, it could not be changed without court approval, and therefore it was truly not revocable by her. An interesting find in the petition that John Zabel filed on November 12th is that Jamie Lynn Spears, the sister of Britney Spears, never acted as trustee. Well, we knew that Jamie Lynn had been appointed as a successor trustee of this trust, but now we're being told that she never acted. The November 12th petition states that Jamie Lynn Spears never undertook any of the steps to actually become trustee. That's very odd because she was named as a successor trustee in 2018 as a result of these changes that Andrew Wallet and Jamie Spears had requested. And last year, Jamie Spears went back to court asking for some additional authority over this trust and failed to mention that Jamie Lynn had never taken control and actually made it appear that she was acting as trustee. In the petition that Jamie Spears filed on August 21, 2020, to direct the trustee to put certain funds in blocked accounts, Jamie tells the court that Jamie Lynn was named as the trustee. And that's half speak. He omitted the fact that Jamie Lynn had never taken steps to become trustee. They needed to tell the court that. That was the court's expectation when it approved the amendment that Jamie Lynn, the sister, would take control of the trust. But no one, including Britney's own court-appointed attorney, felt it necessary to inform the court that its wishes or order had not been followed. So what happens next? John Zabel, in his recent petition, states that Britney wants to do a whole new estate plan. So she's going to be the settlor or creator of that plan. We are not told who the trustee will be, and there's no reason why Britney cannot be the trustee of her own trust. She can hire investment managers to give her advice on how to deal with her money if she wants that. Or if she wants secrecy, she could place somebody else in the role of trustee. But coming out of this abusive conservatorship, I think it's a bad idea for her to place anyone other than herself in control of her life and money.
So there you have it. All of Britney's finances, which would form part of the prenuptial agreement, were literally tied up by Team Con. And until all of these messy little tricks that they pulled were tidied up by the court, the prenuptial agreement couldn't be completed. So, how much did Sam Asghari settle on in the final prenuptial agreement?
And now we know what they signed before they walked down the aisle. A prenup. We knew when they got engaged back in September that there was one being worked on, and now we know what the terms are. And it's really good for Britney. Really good for Britney. Not so good for Sam. Sam, look, you could say that this isn't good for him, but maybe this is exactly the way he wanted it. But the prenup is signed, and it basically says Sam gets nothing. I mean, obviously, he gets his lovely bride. And they moved into a new house, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, this prenup is what I think Britney's fans would be happy to hear also, because nobody wants to see Britney what they would deem to be taken advantage of.
The sources tell us it's an ironclad prenup. Sam gets nothing of what's Britney's in the past, and presumably not much, or if anything, of what she's going to make going forward.
So now we all know Sam Asghari has nothing to gain from marrying Britney. Whatever anybody thinks about his personality, that's fine. That's their opinion. But I will remind you all that Sam Asghari came into the picture in 2016. By 2017, Britney was making noise about ending the conservatorship. By 2018, the court process was well underway, albeit they ignored her. In 2019, they managed to get TriStar out and Bessemer Trust in. And then in 2020, she got to have her say in the court. And in 2021 is when Matthew Rosengart stood up. So if you think Sam Asghari had nothing to do with any of that progress, then you're not thinking about it hard enough.
It's Britney, bitch.
Britney Spears met her man Sam Asghari all the way back in 2016 on a music video shoot. So what did he think of the Free Britney movement, and how does he feel about Brit's dad? While speaking to Men's Health in 2018, Asghari opened up about how he and Spears met. It turns out that the two almost didn't connect at all. In October 2016, Asghari missed a phone call in the middle of the night. On the other end was his agent, who told him that he had received an incredible opportunity to be cast in a music video starring Spears, and they needed an answer from Asghari right away. A few days later, he found himself on the set of the video, being introduced to the woman he would soon fall in love with, Asghari recalled. She said, "Hi, I'm Britney," and I said, "I'm sorry, what's your name again?" I tried to be funny. I don't think anybody got it. Luckily, no one held the joke against him, and he and Spears shared their phone numbers before leaving for the day.
I like younger guys.
One thing turned into another, and they eventually went Instagram official in 2017. Asghari was one of the first people to voice his support for his girlfriend, writing on Instagram that he was proud of her for knowing what she needed to do at the time. He said, "It isn't weakness, it's a sign of absolute strength. People should only be inspired by this, at least I am."
I just want to be a happy person. That's really important, just to spread joy.
A source close to the couple told Us Weekly that Asghari was doing everything right to help keep Britney feeling safe and grounded. As the insider put it, Asghari was nothing but supportive through everything. Asghari's support of his girlfriend hasn't been limited to flashpoints. He's proven time and time again that he is invested in his girlfriend and the relationship they are building together. Asghari has always been one of Spears' most outspoken supporters. In February 2021, amid the release of the potentially damaging documentary Framing Britney Spears, Asghari was clear to People magazine that he prioritized Spears' well-being, particularly as the unauthorized documentary was being watched by others. He explained, "I have always wanted nothing but the best for my better half and will continue to support her following her dreams and creating the future she wants and deserves." Asghari was quick to acknowledge Spears' passionate fanbase, noting that he is profoundly grateful to those who have her best interest at heart. He went on to say, "I'm looking forward to a normal, amazing future together." According to the Los Angeles Times, Spears wrote in a since-deleted Instagram post, "I didn't watch the documentary, but from what I did see of it, I was embarrassed by the light they put me in. I cried for 2 weeks, and, well, I still cry sometimes." Spears was living under a conservatorship for 13 years until she was released from it in November 2021, according to NPR. Many of Spears' fans had strong feelings about the conservatorship, which limited much of what the pop star could do or say, even down to making decisions about voting or having more children. The fans built a movement they dubbed FreeBritney, using their platform to argue in favor of the pop star's release from the conservatorship.
The whole world is supporting and loving, and that's what it's going to take.
Asghari was clear over the years that he was a supporter of FreeBritney. In September 2021, he appeared to directly comment on the movement following the release of the Netflix documentary Britney vs. Spears. As Cosmopolitan reported, Asghari went straight to the official Netflix announcement of the documentary to let his feelings be heard, writing on Instagram, "I hope the profit from these docs go toward fighting against injustice." That wasn't the only public step he took toward making sure his views were seen. After Lady Gaga's manager Bobby Campbell wrote a lengthy comment questioning the motives of those behind the film, Asghari commented with a 100 emoji. Glamour magazine noted that Campbell's own statement concluded with a powerful point that Asghari appeared to co-sign. Even if it is in support of freeing Britney, this appears that it could be exploitative. In September 2021, Spears was in the middle of a legal battle meant to bring her conservatorship to an end when she opened up about some of the more troubling and surprising aspects of the situation. At one point, Spears testified that she wasn't even allowed to make her own reproductive choices, telling the court about an IUD inserted into her body that she did not consent to. According to Variety, Spears laid out the situation for the court and for the world at large, saying, "I want to be able to get married and have a baby. I was told right now in the conservatorship I'm not able to get married or have a baby."
Whoa. It's insane.
Wow.
It's insane.
She went on to clarify that it was her strong wish to have the IUD removed, but that the group of people who were around her wouldn't allow it. That wasn't the only limitation put on Spears by the conservatorship, which her father controlled. Spears added that she couldn't even ride in her boyfriend's car with him. During her testimony, she put her true feelings out in the open, admitting, "I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive." As Spears was in court in September 2021 to testify against her conservatorship and the group of people who controlled her life through it, she and Asghari had happy news to celebrate. After 5 years of dating, Asghari asked Spears to marry him, and she said yes. Asghari's manager, Brandon Cohen, confirmed the news to People magazine, releasing a statement that referenced the ongoing support that the pair had received from their fans. Cohen said, in part, "The couple made their long-standing relationship official today and are deeply touched by the support, dedication, and love expressed to them." A friend of the couple also spoke to the publication about the news, emphasizing that Asghari was just as excited as Spears about moving forward in their relationship. The friend said that the two had made a deliberate choice to keep a lot of their relationship out of the public eye, but now they were ready to be more open. The source added that they were both fully on the same page, explaining, "He's ready for marriage and kids with Britney and is serious about the relationship. She wants to take that next step and have that full life with him." Both Spears and Asghari have demanding careers, and they both have been open about valuing hard work. Asghari told Men's Health that Spears is a source of inspiration for him, as he put it. She motivates me more than anyone. It's crazy how I can be humbled by a person like her. If I could be that humble when I'm that high in life, that would be the best thing. Asghari is also inspired by who Spears is as a person. As he wrote on Instagram a day before Spears turned 40 in 2021, his girlfriend has been an invaluable, strong companion. He said, "I call you Lioness because I admire your relentless strength. I'm inspired by your beautiful heart. I celebrate your smile that lights up my world." The two are quick to lift each other up publicly, and not just for birthdays. Spears shared an adorable video of herself dancing with Asghari, telling him in the Instagram caption, "Thank you, baby, for always reminding me what life is about. Joy, laughter, and living. My experience was a woman's dream." Asghari commented, "My life is a man's dream." If there is one person in Spears' life that Asghari doesn't seem to be a big fan of, it's her father, Jamie Spears. Jamie was notoriously the person who kept a tight leash on Britney throughout the 13 years of her conservatorship, and Asghari certainly doesn't seem to believe that Jamie should have felt justified in doing so. Harper's Bazaar shared that in February 2021, Asghari took to his Instagram stories to state as much, writing, "Now it's important for people to understand that I have zero respect for someone trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way." Asghari added that he had no plans to offer further details to back up his claims because he wanted to continue to keep personal things private. But as he put it at the end of his story, "I didn't come to this country to not be able to express my opinion and freedom." In April 2022, Spears was granted one of her wishes. She and Asghari announced that they were expecting their first baby together. Spears made the announcement on Instagram in a lengthy caption in which the star said she initially believed she was gaining weight because of a food baby, but a pregnancy test quickly revealed otherwise. Spears also shared quite a few personal details in the post, explaining that she didn't plan to go out much while pregnant because she didn't want to give photographers the opportunity to take photos of her. She also talked about the depression she experienced with her 2 previous pregnancies. As she put it, "I have to say it is absolutely horrible. Women didn't talk about it back then. Some people considered it dangerous if a woman complained like that with a baby inside her." In October 2021, Spears and Asghari celebrated the fact that Spears' conservatorship had finally come to an end.
As of today, effective immediately, the conservatorship has been terminated.
An insider told E! News that the couple was excited to have the opportunity to reboot their relationship and their lives and begin living the way so many people do, on their own terms. The Asghari source told the publication that the two have a lot of plans, including purchasing a home together closer to Los Angeles. They added, "She wants a new life with Sam and wants to make many changes. She's excited to move on and close that chapter of her life." The source revealed that the pair's plans didn't end there, saying of Spears, "This is the happiest she has been in a very long time." According to the insider, the two are hoping to continue to travel and explore the world together. While Spears reportedly has no plans to perform anytime soon, she definitely is looking at all the other ways life can be lived. As the source put it, Britney feels she has more exciting options and opportunities, and her life is turning around for the better. In 2022, fans of Spears and Asghari noticed something curious. The singer and her boyfriend of several years had taken to calling one another husband and wife on Instagram. Since there had been no official announcement that the two were married, people weren't sure what to think. Spears has been especially quick to call Asghari her spouse on social media, writing on Instagram in April 2022, "And although I love my husband, I will be honest and say I get annoyed all the time." But Spears isn't the only one using a very specific term to describe the person she loves. In addition to calling her his wife in a 2021 birthday post, Asghari wished her a happy Valentine's Day in 2022 while reminding his Instagram followers of the old saying, "Happy wife, happy life."
I, for one, am very happy for her. I'm very happy for her to make her own mistakes, and I'm very happy for her to make her own future. And now, on with the story.
It's Britney, bitch.